Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cinderbrew Meadery Mythic Plus guide for Season 2 in the War Within. There's a lot of trash in that first room, but there's really just a few things that you need to pay attention to. The pyromaniacs are going to try and cast Erupting Inferno. It's not interruptible, but you can CC or stun them to prevent it. And if it goes off, it puts a debuff on the target, they start doing damage around them, but this one is magic dispellable, so you can get rid of it. They're also going to try and cast Boiling Flames, which is a channel that does a lot of damage to a target, but you can actually save an interrupt for this one and prevent it this way. The Tasting Attendants are going to do a Cinderbrew toss, just move out of the circle so you don't take damage. And the Hired Muscles are going to do Volatile Cack, which splashes and puts a debuff ticking dot on everyone in your party that you need to use defenses for and heal through. That first area also has a mini boss called Chef Chewy, and you might be in a lot of trouble if you don't pull him alone because he has an aura that increases the damage of the mobs around him and it makes them immune to CC effects. He's going to cast Tenderize, which knocks everybody back and does AoE damage. And his other ability is called High Stakes. He just starts throwing around meat. Make sure you don't get hit by the circles around them because you're going to take a lot of damage and also get stunned. Clear that first room in order to get to fight the first boss, Brew Master Aldryr. His tank buster is called Keg Smash. It knocks the target back and it also leaves puddles around him. And even more puddles are going to appear at the feet of two players targeted by Troll Cinderbrew. This one also leaves a 9-second dot on the two targets, so be prepared to heal them up, and his last mechanic is called Blazing Belch. This is just a huge frontal at a random player that you need to dodge. At 66 and 33%, the boss jumps behind his counter and becomes immune to damage. You have to pick up 5 mugs in front of him and bring them to the patrons, which are at the sides of the room. In this phase, they're doing pulsing AoE damage, so if you cannot move and heal at the same time, make sure to keep your party members healthy until they're distributing the drinks. After you do all 5, the boss jumps back into the fight, but now he summons tornadoes that are gonna keep chasing the players around the room. So keep kiting them, the rest of the mechanics are going to be the same as phase 1. After you kill the boss, you have 2 options. If you go left, you have to deal with the Flavor Scientists. They're going to throw barrels at the ground that are going to explode in 10 seconds, so make sure to DPS them down before that happens. And save an interrupt for their rejuvenating honey, as this is a heal that you don't want to go off. The big careless hobgoblins are going to target somebody with a reckless delivery. They're going to charge at them, dodge and bait them near a wall. After they hit the wall, they do a lot of AoE damage and they summon small blobs. After you kill them, they summon even more of these, and after you kill the smallies, they leave puddles behind. Also, make sure to bait the reckless charge nearby because they will not stop until they hit something, and if you send them in the wrong direction, they can pull the whole dungeon coming back. The taste testers are going to enrage themselves via spilled drink, suit if you can, and their cast called Free Samples does a lot of single target damage, so spare an interrupt for it. After you clear the room, at the end of the corridor, you get to fight the second boss, Ipa. The Spouting Stout is 8-second channel which does a lot of AoE damage and a lot of swirlies on the ground that you need to keep dodging while healing your party members. After this is over, few small adds are summoned and they're going to try and reach the boss. CC, slow them down, kite them and kill them as quickly as possible because if they succeed, the boss gets a huge shield and they do AoE damage. Burning Fermentation is going to target 2 random players and mark them with a dot, which is magic dispellable, so get rid of one of them quickly, heal the other person until your dispel is back up, and then dispel them as well. The last mechanic is Bottom's Uppercut, which is a tank buster that also knocks back, but as long as you ensure that no adds ever reach the boss, you should be good to go to the other side from that first area. Here you have to fight the Bee Wranglers, which are going to cast Bee Zuka at you. This is a frontal that does damage and knocks back the first person in the red line. Hopefully, your tank. Also make sure to spare an interrupt for their Bestial Rat, which enrages the nearby bees if it goes off. And the bees themselves are going to jump at random people, leave bleeds on them, and once they're about to die, they're going to cast Final Sting, which will do a bunch of damage to your tank. The big honey harvesters are going to cast Swarming Surprise. That does AoE damage to everyone and also puts a debuff on them, increasing the damage taken from subsequent casts, so burst them down as quickly as possible. And make sure to stay out of their Beewax cast, which is a big circle around them that does damage and also stuns. The Royal Jelly Purveyors are going to do Rain of Honey, which is a lot of circles on the ground that you need to simply dodge to avoid damage, and they also have a cast called Honey Volley that you want to interrupt to prevent AoE damage to your whole party. Some of the packs also have the small beelets that apply a stacking dot on your target, usually the tank. Luckily, magic dispellable, so make sure you don't let the stacks go too high. Clearing the hallways on this side is going to lead you to the third boss, Benk Buzzbee. She's occasionally going to summon 3 barrels around the room, which attract ravenous Cinderbees. These ads are going to put stacking bleeds on people, so you want to CC them and AoE them down as quickly as possible to get rid of them. And once you get them down to 1%, instead of dying, they now become mounts that the players can use and aim at the barrels, pressing their 1 button and triggering a charge that is going to destroy the barrels. One charge can destroy multiple barrels if you aim it correctly, and you want to keep getting rid of the barrels so you don't get overwhelmed by the ads. Honey Marinade is applied to the tank. This is a circle that explodes for a bunch of damage and leaves a puddle on the ground, so you want to stack those close to the wall. And keep the ads away from them because they get healed and buffed if they stay on top of them. The last mechanic is Fluttering Wing. This is a 2-second channel that pushes everyone back and does a lot of AoE damage, so be prepared for that. And if you don't get overwhelmed by ads and you keep killing the barrels, you should be able to get out of the swing. Back in the first area, you can fly up to find 4 Yes Men mobs, which are going to charge at different players. Make sure to dodge the circles. And if you kill one of them, the others get healed back to full and get a damage buff, so you have to basically DPS them down one by one. The last boss is Goldie Baronbottom, who's going to summon a lot of bombs in the room. 4 of them are big barrels that put a stacking 6-second dot on players once you destroy them, so you want to manage very carefully how you're going to blow them up. Both the big and the small bombs are going to throw out waves of lava after you destroy them, so always be ready to dodge those, as there's gonna be plenty of them. There's 2 main ways to destroy the bombs. Cash Cannon is a frontal aimed at the tank. You want to dodge it, but all the barrels caught in the fire are going to explode. There's gonna be the total of 3 tank frontals by the time your timer expires for you to destroy the big barrels. So you can let the tank handle it alone, but if you want to help, the boss is going to target 2 players with fire circles. All the barrels caught inside are going to explode. The players are going to take a bunch of damage and yet another 6-second, this time magic dispellable dot. At 100% energy, the boss jumps into the middle and casts Let It Hail. This is heavy AoE damage and it also explodes all remaining barrels in the arena, so if you have some of the big ones left, they're actually going to add to the AoE by the stacking dot as well. So you have to manage destroying the 4 barrels before she gets to that last phase, hopefully not all at once. And from here on, it's rinse and repeat until you kill the boss. So that will be all for the Cinderbrew Meadery Mythic Plus guide. Check out the rest of the dungeon guides on this channel. I'll see you guys there. Now get out of here.